you describe, how that feels like to be alone? What are some of the emotions?
Some of the emotions that I felt being alone was vulnerable for one. I felt lost. I kind of felt like I didn't have anywhere to turn to.
I felt like I was, gonna drown. It gets scary, and sometimes you feel like you just want to cry.
The biggest factor was like you have nothing to offer, like you have nothing.
I went into like a deep depression.
You get depressed, your thoughts start going towards the wrong direction.
It's not a place that anybody wants to be, because you know that you're doing something wrong.
This problem of abortion can be solved one woman at a time, one baby at a time, one financial gift at a time. The reality is that we need you. These women and children, they need you to live. It is a matter of life and death. It is a very serious matter. It is a big problem in our world today, in our families, in our communities, is the ending of a life because a woman is alone, because a woman doesn't have good information, because a woman does not have any family in her life. She has no support and she has no direction. She has no hope. Today, you can make a difference. You can make a step to help solve this problem and resolve it with your financial gift. Today, the offer is $98. Will go towards a counseling session and an ultrasound, and that investment will help save a life.
The women, when they're alone, they feel scared. They spend a lot of time thinking of all the worst case scenarios. How am I gonna support this child? How am I gonna keep working? What if I can't keep working? How am I going to take care of myself? Or how am I gonna keep going to school? Finances are a huge aspect of it, but also being alone, there's a lot of negative self-talk. There's a lot of, we all have like bumps in the road and moments of challenges. And when you're alone by yourself, it's hard to pick yourself back up.
I'm blown away by how alone that they feel. In reality, none of us are ever alone, but these women truly feel like they are completely isolated.
A lot of the women that come to us, they have no hope.
They don't believe in themselves. Then to be thrown into a circumstance that they're not prepared for, they don't feel that they're going to be able to manage it successfully. They don't feel that they're going to be able to get through.
To be face to face with someone who is either considering abortion or who has gone through the traumatic experience of abortion, or knows someone who has or is being pressured into it, you come face to face with such pain and such brokenness.
I feel kind of guilty that abortion even crossed my mind.
I mean, that guilt gonna be running in your mind that you had a child and you just got rid of it like that.
My one goal was to just get the abortion and just erase it out of my life. I would never would have thought about it again.
I wanted to terminate my pregnancy because I didn't want my daughter to grow up without her dad.
I didn't have that support from not only family, but I don't really have that many friends either.
My mom, my sisters, they was encouraging me to get an abortion. I didn't have my family behind me.
He just told me, if you keep this baby, you're on your own.
I was not working, I couldn't afford to pay my bills, and the father was not working too.
I was living off welfare. The money I was receiving from them, it wasn't enough.
How would I be able to take care of the child? Who would help me?
I didn't know whether I was ready to have a baby.
Never took any pictures while I'm pregnant with him.
And I was like, I can't bring another baby in this war that I can't take care of. So right there, my mind went to abortion.
When you give today, you're making sure that the legacy of life that God intended for this woman and this child and this family will be realized, and that this problem is resolved, that the fear around this decision and this shame and this challenge of abortion, that it will be resolved because you're going to give, because you're going to invest, because you're going to be giving hope to a woman with every financial gift that you make. Today, I challenge you that for $98, a financial sacrifice, a financial gift of $98, which will be doubled when you give right now.
The biggest issue when it comes to women seeking an abortion is just the utter lack of information at actual abortion clinics. Women sign an informed consent form, but are they actually understanding what's going to be happening to their bodies? Are they going to understand the side effects? Are they going to understand the emotional experience that an abortion is going to entail?
A lot of these women come in and they don't understand the reality of abortion. They don't understand fetal development. They don't understand that the life within them has a heartbeat.
When they don't get that ultrasound, they don't see the big picture. And the big picture is the baby.
They should know exactly what is involved physically, emotionally, mentally, not a 5-minute general information session done over the phone on a conference call or a video plopped in to sit by yourself. This is not true to what each individual person is going through and what their circumstances could or couldn't be.
Because they feel like since abortion is their only option, that's the only option they're going to explore. But then they get to learn more about the resources and the different support we can provide.
And they come to us and we're able to show them the truth of what's really happening. You know, a lot of these women have no idea what their baby looks like at 6 weeks.
Well, with the ultrasound, it basically is confirmation. They get to see, they get to hear, baby's movement, the baby's heartbeat. Some people don't believe that there's a heartbeat like at 5 and 6 weeks, and they're just so amazed that, you can hear that.
There's always a choice. There's always a better choice. Another client who is probably my most memorable so far, I'll call her Lisa. She is a mother of many children and ended up pregnant, and she came to our center and she was seeking an abortion, and there was no changing this woman's mind. And when Lisa came in and we sat down with her, I tend to always ask the question of what brings you in, and she just started talking, and she just the narrative or the words she was choosing of I just can't have this baby right now. I just can't. I can't do this, and I don't want to carry this pregnancy to term. I don't have the money. I don't have this, that, naming all of these things that are sort of just temporary things. And one thing that really did impact me with Lisa was her saying, I don't want to kill my baby, but I don't think I have a choice.
For $98, that woman will receive the counseling she needs, the confidence, the support, the love, the mercy, to know that she can be a mother during these very uncertain times. And she will see her baby for the first time on that ultrasound. She will hear the heartbeat. She will realize she's not even alone because that baby is already with her. $98 gives her all of that information. $98 tonight will help that woman not be alone and know that you are there for her. She might not have family. She might not have a mother. She might not have a boyfriend or a husband, but she has you, and she can be the mother that God is calling her to be.
You know, one thing is to give them the moral talk, right? And tell them what they can't do. But it's also about helping them see what they can do. And then to walk with them in what they can do. And to give them the assurance, and that's mercy, right? Give them the assurance that not only am I going to show you what you can do, I'm going to help you to arrive at that. And that's what Legacy of Life does, you know, by connecting them with resources and families and agencies and support systems so that that child could have a chance.
We had a client who was a struggling single mom. She considered terminating the first pregnancy, came back to us with the second pregnancy, going to school, father trying to support as best as he could. They're not together. She's living on her own, doing the best she can, trying to get these classes under her belt so she can get a career going, and really, really, really struggling. And just so depressed and so anxiety ridden and not sure what to do with this pregnancy. And she's telling me her story, and I'm just in awe. And I say to her, I'm like, my gosh, you must be so proud of yourself. And she just stared at me, and she goes, why? And I'm like, you have a 2-year-old at home. You're working a full-time job. You're going to classes at night. Like, you're doing everything you can. Like, that's amazing. She's like a straight A student. And I was like, that is incredible. I'm like, that's amazing what you're doing. And she started to cry, and she said, I have never in my lifetime heard be proud of yourself or I'm proud of you. And I never thought of it that way. She said she looked at her situation like she was a loser because she was the single mom living in low income housing and she didn't have a degree yet. And like, she looked at it totally the opposite from what I saw it. And to her, she kept saying, I felt like a loser my whole life. I feel like such a loser.
There's nothing worse than not having options and feeling that there's only one thing, right? And sometimes the women that you work with and encounter, you encounter them, find themselves in a situation that they didn't want to be in or imagine that they would be in, and they think that there's only one way out. And you show them that no, there actually is other ways that are more life-giving, that are more hopeful. That in and of itself is hope.
Hope. It's just the hope of a better life, of, if they're in some kind of bad situation, it's the hope of getting out of that situation and being happy and living a happy and fulfilled life. And if you're in a bad relationship, you can get out of that. There's hope. If you don't have a job, there's hope. If you are depressed, there's hope. I think that we live in a very hopeless world at times, especially right now. And it's just so, so crucial to be that reminder to anyone, but especially a woman with another life inside her.
We focus on changing the mother's life and loving the mother, and in turn, like, she will love this child. You know, like, it doesn't just start with her having the baby. It's like, what are you going through? And like, what are your needs emotionally?
We're able to respect them and build that dignity back inside them and show them their worth. And that's even just through like looking at them in the eyes. That we might be the first person to make eye contact with them in their journey of this unplanned pregnancy.
Listen, be there for them and help them plan and help them realize the truth, help them realize that there are ways to fix their situation. It's never going to be easy.
I think that if our center was not in place, we would just be contributing to this like culture and nature of I hate to sound like a cliche, but this like culture of death, no one listens to each other, no one hears each other out. Our center is literally in place to take a woman in, sit down with her intentionally, whether it's for a few minutes or for a few hours, and just say, like, I hear you and I see you, and you're just not alone in this.
So, you guys that were given actually spared me from aborting my child and meeting this beautiful little girl.
Because if it wasn't for your donations, I have never got the encouragement from these women.
I just wanted to take a moment as an investor and a donor to the Legacy of Life Foundation to say thank you. Thank you for joining with me and joining with the team that God has chosen to be instruments of the salvation of babies. Ladies and gentlemen, there's nothing more important to me than investing in a life, and to invest in the life of the mother to save her child, and for the child that this baby can come into this world to be the next lawyer, the next doctor, the next president. This is our call. It gets no better than that. So with all of my heart, as a fellow donor and investor, I want to say thank you for joining with me. I encourage you, educate your children about this foundation and encourage them to be givers and volunteers. Educate your friends, the businesses you're associated with, everyone you can about the reality that this organization stands as the pillar of truth, hope, and opportunity for these women who are going to have their babies aborted at Planned Parenthood, that it gives them an opportunity to say yes to life and no to the whispers of the enemy of our soul. May God bless you. Let's see what we can do to save more lives, to save more babies. God bless.
When you give, children live. When you give, a woman chooses life instead of abortion at an abortion clinic. When you choose life, you are standing in the crossroads that a woman then takes a different direction. She takes a different path. And your gift, and you walk alongside of her, and you're showing a woman that there is a different way. You change the trajectory. You change the course of history. For a child that God planted in the womb of its mother, you change the direction of the life that child was going to have, because that child was going to die, is going to die if it wasn't for you. If it isn't for you, that child will end up in the road to death. But because of you today, right now, and today, when you give $98 or more, if you can give more, it will be doubled even more. You are giving the direction to a woman towards the good, towards life, towards hope, towards joy, towards a love that she never knew was possible because of you. That's the kind of difference you can make. That's what you can do right now.